Hi, I'm Varian Brandon, and this is episode 2 of the videos that go along with the Daddy's Request sweater. And this is Daddy's Request right there. And you heard last time the whole story about why it's called Daddy's Request. And so I'll spare you going through that again. But we are working on this together. And I've done this, this will be my 4th version of it, but I don't like to do the same sweater twice. So I'll walk through all the different variations that we're working on. You could do any of them. And it doesn't, all of them are fine, you know. This one is the plain pullover, and I don't mean plain, but it's less complicated than the other versions, but this is the pullover. It is solid from the cast on, it's a bottom up, solid from the cast on all the way up to here. And this is the version, and that along with the original, this is the original version of Daddy's Request. This is the one that I actually made for my father, but wasn't gonna fit him. That was my bad. So this is a great sweater for to do, if you want to, do it absolutely single color all the way up to the underarms. And for the sleeves too. So what you end up doing is you're putting all the design up here around your face and makes everybody look at your face because that's where the design is. So that's good sometimes. Just to tell you. And then I did the original version a long time ago, the gray one you just saw. I did this one for a class I was teaching at the retreat. I coordinated the Canuga conferences. And it's a Canuga knitting and quilting retreat. Happens on Martin Luther King weekend in January every year. And then I decided I needed to do another version. And the other version is a cardigan version. So this is what I wrote up was the cardigan version. So here this one is. And because I really wanted to do something besides just the cardigan, do something a little different, I actually put a little kiss of color around the top of the neck, around the what's that called? Ribbing, around the bottom ribbing and of both the sleeves and the bottom of the sweater itself. This cardigan is also done from the bottom up, and it has a steek that runs right up the front. You can see the steek flap. That's what got cut to open up the front to make it a cardigan. So easy to do, you know, different, and just a different version. The version I'm working on right now, see if I can't figure out what, there it is. The version I'm working on right now is actually what I did is I took this patterning right here, flipped it around and put it at just above the rib, and then made the rib the same color. So here it is. You can see that little kind of medallion looking thing. It's going to be this way when it gets around to the top. That's what this is right here. I'm sure you can follow that. But that's this is the sleeve. And I did the sleeve first because I was trying to get a gauge swatch, and I was hoping it was going to be okay. I didn't want to just do the yoke first, so I did a little of the yoke work, you know, on the sleeve itself. And I will be perfectly honest with you. I got about up to the elbow, and I started looking at it, and I thought, that's going to be too small. And I checked my gauge, and it was too small. It was instead of being 18 and a half, it was like 24 stitches per 4 inches. And I just thought, oh no. And I was trying to figure out where my larger needles were. I was telling you about this last time. I didn't know, but I figured, you know, I'd just go on and block it, and let's just see what happens. Well, I blocked it. It bloomed up. It grew up a bit, and I will admit, I strenuously blocked it and pulled it out. I have a woolly board, so I put it on the sleeve for the woolly board, and now it measures 18 and a half. So I'm figuring that's pretty good. So, and it fits it all as well, but I did determine that I needed to add a little more length to it because when I blocked it, it spread a little wider. And so I needed to add a little more length. So I added 2 inches, and hopefully you can tell that, hope you can tell it, from here up is what I've added. So it looks a little bit tighter, you know, through there. So I think this is going to be pretty good. You can see the what's called lice. I'm not going to think about where that came from. I'm just going to I'm just going to think of it as ermine. How's that? It's my new thing. My ermine sweater with the navy blue dots on it, little polka dotted things. So we talked about the pattern last time. We talked about the construction last time. But what I want you guys to think about this time we're going to cast on, and I'm already kind of a step ahead of you. Before I do that, I want to talk about what this yarn is. It's falling off my lap. This is Elemental Effects Civility, and it has merino and silk. I think it's merino. I should know these things. It's gorgeous. It is a luxury yarn for sure. It's a little pricey, but if you want to treat yourself, this is beautiful yarn. It's got a beautiful hand to it. And I chose 4 or 5 colorways just in case you wanted to get a kit from Jean. If you wanted to splurge a bit, you wanted to get a kit from Jean. So let me show you the colorways I've chosen. You get in touch with me if you're interested, and we'll put you together with Jean, who's Elemental Effects, and she can get the kit ready for you to send out. So, and there's a discount on the kit too. So, so this is the one I'm working on. This is the body, as you can tell here. This is the body, and then these are the 4 colors, other 4 colors that are going with it. You can see in the little piece that I've done right here, that little watermelony color is there, and the cream and the navy, the powder blue is going to come up when it reaches the neck. So that's that colorway. This is another colorway for people who want a gray sweater, and then the body, the 4 body colors are like this. This is a sort of, well, I could read you the color names on it, shouldn't I? This is citron. This is, I did this last time, but this is citron, this is turquoise, this is gray pearl, and this is cerise. So those are the 4 colors for a gray body, like that. So that's going to be a nice one. We talked about this one where it's a purple body, and then these are the 4 colors for the purple body. Let's get the white out of the way. There we go. For the purple body, here's the body here. You can see that. And I'll spare you those colors, but that's the body of this is called amethyst. So just all you have to really do is remember amethyst. With this one, all you have to do is remember storm, the gray one with all the colors. This one is called storm. And then this is the one where the body is black, and it has all these wonderful sort of southwest looking colors involved, and that's the black, a black sweater with these colors across the top, which would be kind of nice. And so those are the, what is that, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 colorways, which is what this is. This one, the body of this one is called saffron. I think I told you last time. This is my ode. This was just serendipity. I was not making it out this way, but when I was writing down the colorways, I thought, oh my gosh, I've got a firefly theme here. Saffron, okay. Manly, we can call this mal, but manly. This one is called serenity, you see, and this one is called star coral star, you know, and then oyster. I'm not sure why the oyster fits in, but anyway, that's what this one's called. So, okay, so casting on. You can, this is a cast on to get ready to go. Cast on any way you like. There is no set cast on for this sweater. I personally prefer a long tail cast on. I'd use that for just about everything. A long tail cast on. I do it as a 2-tail long tail cast on, because what you end up doing is using both ends of the yarn, and you tie a knot in that, just a little simple knot, and put your needle through that knot. And then you can use the 2 strands coming out from that as your slingshot to do your long tail cast on. That way, you don't have to estimate how long your long tail is going to be, and you're casting on 195 stitches, and you get to 192, and you cannot make 3 more stitches. There's just no way. So this way, you're not going to run out of of yarn at all. And when you get to the end, what I normally do is I'll do about 10 stitches. The only hazard with this is when you get it back around to connect in the round is that you forget you've got that knot at the very beginning, and you don't really want to be knitting into that. So I'll do about, I don't know, 3, 4, 10 stitches whenever I think about it. And I will slide the whole thing to the other end of, I'm using a circular needle, so the other end of the circular needle, and just pull that knot off the end and untie it so that the two ends are right there. Just because I don't want to make a mistake and start trying to make a stitch out of that knot at the very end. But you get all the way around, you connect it, being careful not to twist, that's the phrase, being careful not to twist. Join in the round, being careful not to twist. So, I can't tell you how many times I've written that. So, that way you've got the one extra end to weave in. So you can see here at the very beginning, see here my two ends from casting on. So I will cut one and use the other one. I generally like to cut the one that is to the outside of the ball because I really like a center pull ball. I can't say that. A center pull ball. So that it doesn't, if you pull them from the outside, they have a tendency to roll around. And how many times have you been, on a plane, in a doctor's office, have a cat, and the ball is rolling around? I will tell you just a funny story as a side. I was knitting in an eye doctor's office and was anxious to get on back to the back side because I had other things to do, but I was knitting away, and they called me to go back down this long aisle. I was in the sort of a smaller waiting room, and they called me to go down this long hall, and I got to the end of the hall, and I turned around, and I had left the ball of knitting in the waiting room, and there was like this long string of yarn coming at me all the way down the hall, and everybody's kind of standing looking at it, and there's another woman at the end, and she is rolling it up for me, and she handed it to me at the end, and she says, "I knit too," and turned around and went, sat back down. I just said, how nice. I like a center pull ball. So anyway, you can do a knitted cast on, you can do a cable cast on, you can do, anything you need to do. It doesn't necessarily need to be a super stretchy cast on or anything like that. Cable cast ons are generally a little more stronger. So a little more, what do you might call it? They don't stretch as much. So, I usually, if I was going to do a cable cast on, I'd probably do it in fingering weight, not in worsted weight. So, as I said, you can do whatever you want to. Then you go, the pattern says for 2.5 inches of rib. I actually, for this particular sweater, as I said, I don't like to do the same thing twice. So for this particular sweater, I've actually done 3 inches. Just because I like a little bit longer rib. So 3 inches is what I've done on this. You can do whatever you want. If you're doing the cardigan, you will cast on 10 extra stitches for the steeks. This is the steek stitches right here. I don't know whether you can see, focus up, you can see that there are 2 purl stitches on either side of the steek. There's a marker here and there's a marker here, a little silver marker here and here. And they, I was sitting there thinking, I am so fancy that these really are silver. I think these are from the jewelry store. They're some sort of rings and things you make jewelry out of, but I just thought they were kind of fun, and I could buy a purchase of them. Anyway, never mind. So you have the steek stitches in between there from your cardigan. And I think I showed you this. This had a steek in it. This is what this steek is, and I have used a crochet chain secure on this, securing this steek, and we'll talk about that when we get to it because I'm going to have one in mine as well. So you do the same. You cast on, go on and work till about, I'm going to try to do this again next week so that therefore you can, should be about halfway done up to the armhole. Then I only have to do one more sleeve. You can do, you'll be doing 2, or if you decide to do what I did, do a sleeve first just to kind of get the feel of things. That's what we do. So, there you have it. I think that's about all I have to say, except I got a runny nose this morning. So that's it. Next time, if you'll cast on, do your ribbing, get into the body, just keep on going, and you can go around and around and around. I'm going to be, where did I put it? Did I put it over here? Yes. I'm going to be doing what's called lysis. As I said, it's ermine. I'm going to be doing my ermine stitch all through the body, just to kind of tie the two things together. You don't have to do that in any way. If you are proficient in waist shaping, you can put a little waist shaping in here. If you want it to be a little tighter, you can do, as I said, I think you go down. This is the second time I've recorded this, I'll tell you that. So I can't remember what I've said the first time, what I'm saying the second time. So I will cut this out if I edit it. See, oh, you just said that at the beginning of the video. Anyway, this pattern has a built-in 3 inches of positive ease. So if you measure a size 32 and you make a 32, it will actually be a 35 inches around when you get done. If you measure a 38 and you make a 38, then it will be a 41 inches as you go around, because it's built in. If you measure a 38 and you want to have it a little tighter, if you will go down to the 36, then what you'll end up with is a 39, so you only have 1 inch of positive ease. That will be very form-fitting if you want it that way. If you want to do like I do, make it a little bit bigger. I am a 36. I am doing a 40 because I want mine a little oversized, because that means I'm making a 43, which is giving me 7 inches, which is an oversized size. So you do what you need to do. So there you go. All right. That's about all I've got for right now. If you want to be reminded when these videos come out, and I'm trying to do one every week or every 10 days, then you can subscribe on my YouTube channel and hit, as they say, hit the bell to say that you get notifications when these when the videos go up. You can now subscribe to my newsletter on my website. Up in the top left-hand corner of the front page, you'll see subscribe to newsletter up there. I did you a favor, and I don't have that screen coming up after you've been there for 5 seconds to say subscribe to the newsletter. People told me that they didn't want that, so I did you a favor. We'll see if you don't subscribe. If you don't subscribe by clicking the button, clicking the words on the top left, then I might have to go to that. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, and if you do subscribe to the newsletter, you'll get an announcement when videos go out. You get an announcement when patterns go out. You'll get a discount on the patterns before anybody else does. And then some other things I've got planned, some other places that do a lot of pretty color work, some favorite designers of mine that do color work. So that's kind of what the newsletter entails. So there you have it. I also have other videos. I have tutorials for holding yarns, for weaving in ends, for doing all that kind of stuff, all on my website. So that's at brandonknittingdesigns.com, which I will key right there. If I forget to do it, that's going to look really stupid. But anyway, I think I'll get the word. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for working on the Daddy's Request sweater. If you are not working on the sweater and you're just watching the videos, this is really easy. Go get a pattern. You get whatever percentage off. I forgot what it was now, but there is a certain percentage off of the pattern. You get a discount up until May 1st. So go ahead and get your pattern. If you're even thinking about it, contemplating, as they say, go ahead and get a pattern, and then you can come back and look at the videos later, because they're going to be up here for as long as I've got a YouTube channel. They're going to be up there, and you can look at them at any time and replay certain parts if you or better yet, fast forward all my rambling and get to all the stuff that helps in me. So anyway, all right guys, thank you so much. As I said, I will see you next time for episode 3, where we will, wherever you are on the body, we'll go on from there, and it'll probably be pretty short because we'll just talk about moving on up from there. And I'll show you how far I've gotten. So take care of yourself. Happy knitting. Enjoy it.